Hello and welcome. Well, this week we're going to check some stuff. There's some updates from the last week, so let's check what we have this week. Let's start. Well, and let's start this week talking about a follow-up from the last week. We were mentioning that now China is kind of blocking Japan to import like rare mineral stuff related to, for example, let's say magnets and stuff that are required for very much building technology. So because of this, Japan is kind of like looking for a workaround. Now they agree with the G7. They got kind of an agreement with Australia about like trying to build a different supply chain so we don't depend only on only one country. In the case of Asia, we were very much dependent on China. So because of that, we're trying to build now an alternative to that. So yeah, I feel like this is a good thing to do. This is also a different topic. This is related to the AI. Japan has been proposing to the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Basically, this is for building AI together, and they want to kind of standardize the way that they build the models, applying standards about rules, and that will lead to better results for that could be developed something for the full region. This is also a good thing. I think like anything that is built together is good. At least you're building something to compete with US and China in this case. So I feel this is good. Let's hope this goes well. And now talking about the economy, there has been like around 10,300 bankruptcies in 2025. This is up almost 3% from the previous year. It seems like this is not just about inflation and tariffs. This is about labor shortage. This is really impacting, the companies. Maybe there is some higher wages now, but at the same time, the cost of the operation for the company is also increasing, and because of inflation and stuff like that. But also the other thing is like because of the salary is not that attractive, that is causing some labor shortage. We need to find a way to see how this can be more attractive for people to come here and work. There's no good salary to offer to people to come from abroad. And also now we have many rules that are not so convenient for people for working here. Compared to other countries. So now what we need to do with the same resources we have right now, apparently we need to produce more. So I hope that Japan finds a way, if the economy doesn't look great and the salary doesn't look great, make better conditions for work. I think maybe that will be a solution for it. But this is like a very difficult situation because, it's like, how can you attract people to move and work here with the same resources? So, well, let's hope 2026 looks better. They need to provide more support for startups if they want them to really succeed. Yeah, this has like many factors. It's a difficult situation, but I hope the government find a way to support this and make companies to last more, like to be able to thrive and grow and produce better working conditions. And it's a very difficult situation. The government needs to work together with the companies to make better conditions. And let's see how it goes. Well, and now talking about foreigners in Japan, a follow up from the last week. Because we were talking about how now the government is trying to put mandatory that you need to register your passport when you purchase a property. Now they're talking about they're going to try to do some onboarding mandatory. So basically this is going to apply for whoever wants to work in Japan. And this will need to be done before coming to Japan and then after coming to Japan, because then you will need to be having some basics in the language, some basics on let's say, something as simple as organize your trash and be aware about like what is happening in your community. Also, a basic Japanese class, so you will be able to communicate and clear onboarding into Japan. I wish I could have that when I came here. I feel this is a good thing now that they're trying to do, in this case, mandatory. I feel like some countries are doing that. So I feel this is also a good case for this, and especially Japan, because we want to keep tradition and stuff. But I feel like I like Japan for a reason. I want Japan to keep being like that. And the other thing is they want to have foreigners to have more information and more understanding about the property management and stuff for people that wants to own land here. I think having a proper education for that, I feel that that's good. It's a lot better than what we have right now, I think. So I think this proposal seems like a very good. And well, I hope this is more like a good welcoming onboarding for everyone and not just like a big gatekeeping, So let's hope this goes in that way. And well, let's see how it goes. Well, and now talking about energy in Japan. This is about the strategy from the new administration, trying to kind of go more with nuclear energy because the target is to be self-sufficient. There's a lot of solar energy that is being kind of imported. So this is the issue that they have, that they say like we need to be self-sufficient, and the way for this is reactivating our nuclear plants. Japan has about 60 nuclear plants. From those, they reactivated about 14. And we have like 24 that are in the process for being decommissioned. It takes time. Even this administration is pushing to try to see if we can reactivate some of these plants. There's also some investment on nuclear fusion, and basically the government wants to go more into this path rather than being importing energy. There's some projects for renewable energies. They're evaluating and saying, if they have some impact in the environment, then maybe we're not going to do. So basically, they're just betting more on what they already think we have, which is like all the nuclear reactors. This is really very big impact economically speaking, but I know there is a lot of impact in the in the environment, but these kind of things, I think there's ways to avoid this kind of situation. Also, the government is, I'm thinking they're trying to invest smart on this kind of initiatives and technologies. Well, so I hope we can be energy self-sufficient sometime soon. Well, let's hope for the best and the best technologies for this. And now about crime news. This happened in Hokkaido. Basically, it is kind of like creepy case because basically some bar owner, it seems like he hide the body of a woman in the walls, and then he opens the bar like normal, and then it seems like then later the police are like realize about this. In this case, the woman was reported missing on December 31st, and he seems to be, at least he pretended to be cooperating with the police. At the end, well, they discovered that he did this, and well, now the motive is not clear, so they're still investigating about this, but for now they already arrest him. The case is now on the side of the prosecutors. In here, actually, like, it's very common that women go by themselves to some places, so I will just say, if you feel something is off, it's better to just go early home, just stay safe. And I guess this goes also for everyone, like, just be careful, don't risk it, and be aware of this kind of cases. Just be careful, take care, and that's it. Well, that's it for this week. Let me know in the comments what you think about this onboarding from the government. Do you agree that this is something that will be good for helping the people to really adapt and be welcome to this country? Or do you think this is going to just be another thing that is going to block people from coming? Please let me know in the comments. Well, take care of yourself, and that's it.